All right, we're here for our closing bout of the evening for week 3 feature matches here, MKM. And we got John R. Ged playing against Jeremy, who's one of our veterans here, been here since almost the beginning. We got a bit of a lag here on John's side, but we see his hand. What's Jeremy looking to work with over there?
It's a mana base that would make Darth Vader happy. We got a
Uh-oh.
swamp, a mountain, a forest, public thoroughfare, an elvish vat keeper, which we saw in the last match. The chase is on, is combat trick, and a fugitive code breaker, which is a
Ah,
rare, nice prowess rare.
I do have to correct you in that it would disturb Darth Vader, not please him.
Make the
Um,
meme.
John may have a similar type of type of mana base going on, perhaps maybe. He's got the Muradin's core, which I think he got from a prize. I believe you could store counters. You could tap it to store counters and then use it for colored mana later.
Here
I
is
forget I forget exactly how it works, but it's something to that degree. Um, he's got a Tunnel Tipster, a Killer Among Us, and locks it on Eavesdropper for green cards. And he's got a Cold Case Cracker, a Long Goodbye, a Forest, and a Swamp, and another Cold Case Cracker. So, he can. Again, I believe you can tap it and remove a counter to add a mana of any
Exactly.
color.
Exactly. It's
But
actually Jeremy just covered it, and that's what it does.
yeah, but only one counter at a time. You can't like use multiple
One.
counters, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
remove a charge counter.
all right. So he can cast one of his two Cold Case Crackers here next turn if he chooses. Oh wait, I mean he
Um,
could cast one and then he'll need a blue. He'll need another blue source to cast the other eventually. Is what I intended to say.
there's a Japanese art, I believe, shock, which is what was the idea
Okay.
last time. If there was a block.
Let's hope it's not a lightning bolt, right?
Hope
I mean,
Game one.
it's from the Mystical Archives, and it's a one mana red card. So,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
it's as long as he's following the rules, it's all good. I mean, Shock is in the set, so you would assume it's that.
I assume so.
I
Said
don't,
he plays a Vat Keeper, and the forest was drawn, so it's just
I
the
don't,
chases on chalk. So
I don't think you can get your hands on a on a lightning bolt so far in our format.
so
All right, so
far,
he has drawn the island. Not sure why he didn't just play the island, so he didn't have to use the charge counter.
hmm.
Interesting.
It's hard to. I mean, the thing was glowing. You're like, yeah, I could play it.
I think he just sort of like had in his mind, I'm playing my land and playing my thing, and like regardless of what I draw.
Does the full swing out?
So this is going to get blown out by chases on if Germany wants it to.
Yeah, but there is the choice of developing a green belt radical, which is one of the more tilting
I
cards.
think you take the trade. Okay, maybe not. He says
It,
no. I mean, he kills the creature. Each player gets a clue, but Jeremy, being the one who's pressuring, is going to make better use of the clue because John might not have time to crack it since he's on the back foot here. So he has the choice of Cold Case Cracker, Eavesdropper, or Killer Among Us. Um, Killer Among Us probably going to be okay. He's drawn a doppelgang for turn, but he's going to need to do a bit of work to get in a position to make proper use of that. So he's gonna put some 1/1s on the board. Let's see what he chooses. See if he chooses the right. No, he didn't choose Merfolk. Terrible. Chose the
Urn of
Goblin.
Urn of Godfire
Urn of
is
Godfire? Is that it filters mana?
filters can kill a non-land permanent or
But it's
a
like bad
permanent.
filtering. You have to pay two, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I think
And
it's going to
then
be develop this art incubate token and a green belt radical upside down. It's looking like the turn.
upside
Oh,
down. I like the terminology. I approve. The
more.
upside down creature.
Oh,
All right.
so
So John
shock,
being very open faced about who the killer is here,
easy shock.
and shock the one that isn't. Yeah, makes sense.
Kind of paid 5 mana for a 3/3, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure how much I love those those blocks. He just gave away all the information here, but let's see how he can recoup from here. He's facing
Tier
down
1.
quite a bit of damage here. All right, he's just
Yeah.
gonna play a 4/4 for 4.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So
Pretty
Topiary
expensive.
Panther, the draw here, which would be a nice stabilizer, but cannot cast it.
It's just pretty expensive 10 mana to do the other thing, so.
Yeah, I mean, in this set, a 4 mana 4/4 is just really good. Like it's just really good.
Oh, Urn of Godfire is going to trigger prowess. How about that?
I mean, that'll be the most I'll have seen it do.
No
I
wonder
believe
it's
you
in
can.
here.
I think you could blow up a permanent later on with it or something.
Yeah. Um, Also, it's filtering for his mana situation, which didn't seem too well. We commented about Darth Vader before.
Yeah, was that in March of Machine?
Something around there. It's not too
Yeah.
old.
What a weirdly underpowered card for such a powerful set. Feels like a card they would print like 10 years ago.
It's from Mom, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway,
Oh, it only destroys creature enchantment, so not quite everything.
okay.
We can kill this enchantment here. How about that?
They don't want it. They don't want you to be able to blow up battles. Okay, so they couldn't put
We
an
can
on-land permanent. They said leave the battles alone.
destroy this killer among us. Gotta go.
So I believe when we did see Jeremy have a pretty impressive win in week 1. I believe he was playing a green red deck, splashing some white perhaps. So kept the same base but changed the splash. I think, and he's doing pretty well. He's at 8-6, so pretty respectable. Very very decent record.
Yeah.
Got a big attack here coming. The only thing that John left up was the long goodbye, which he could blow up the incubator. So you can trade with the codebreaker, blow up the token, take 7. Still in a world of hurt here. And he's losing a mana source, which is not where he wants to be here.
Goodbye.
Wasn't that long. Seemed like it happened pretty quick, in fact.
So
Yeah, so
Jeremy's
take
top deck last turn was actually the Urabrask that turned into a Saiga.
her brass. Is that it's just a 4 mana 4/4 first strike, right?
Yeah, if you do
Yeah.
you have 3 things that can flip.
I think you add a red mana if you play an instant or sorcery.
And deal the damage, yeah.
It's a 4 mana
And then
4/4 first strike, which is more than enough.
on the back isn't really a relevant thing to say, but
But he draws another Killer Among Us, which I guess it's just bodies. Like it's.
I never thought of that. You could double sack on an attack.
I mean,
So
I
he'd have
guess
a
I guess I
7
guess you
attack.
have to name Goblin again. You could have a
But
7/7 Goblin if he ever gets to attack with it. I mean,
never
haven't
thought of
seen.
them stacking.
Yeah, I mean, works pretty nice. Especially if your first one died before you could sack the killer.
That doesn't happen too often.
No. All right, drawing a card here, seeing what he can do to get through these 1/1s and get some damage in. But it looks like we're just getting 2 chumps here.
Wait, you don't actually have to name the same one, right? You have two threats. Did he name the same one?
I believe so.
He's not in a great situation to test it out, unfortunately. But yeah, you can have 2 different or
I mean, he
3.
can doppelgang his Killer Among Us to put more tokens into play. So his draw
Let's
was
see.
Case of the Stash Skeleton, which is not of any use right now. That's the rare that makes a suspect skeleton. He might just decide to. I mean, he could copy the Eurobrask. I mean, anything he does is just like leading into unfavorable combat for the most part.
Well, Jeremy says he's starting to think the Goblin did it in the chat there.
It's always the Goblin, apparently. I choose Merfolk.
Like, not the Goblin.
But if you are my opponent in a league match, I definitely will not choose Merfolk, right?
I don't know.
So he's going to doppelgang. Looks like the Urabrask
So it's
to maybe
blocked.
just try and limit the attacks. No, he's just going to make another killer among us. We are there are many killers here. All
It's
right,
kind of fun not to die.
all right. Guess who it is.
That's playing to survive another turn type of
I
play.
think you attack. how
Uh,
how about take 10? How's that?
that's a weird situation. He's got to sack two of them. He's reading. Okay, Jeremy's reading it.
Yeah, I think Jeremy's like, I don't really feel like taking 10 right now. So,
Yes, the two of them, and Urn of Godfire removes a thing if a land is on top.
this is funny. Yeah, I didn't think I'd be seeing this, but there's a lot of things that occurred tonight in the future matches that I didn't think I'd see. Mostly
Uh,
everything that occurred in Chris's match, and then the coveted Falcon bite down on crime play.
he's regretting it in the chat. That wasn't on purpose, but Urn of Godfire can remove a creature
Oh,
now
he
with
did.
the
Okay, it
land.
was okay. It was just an error, I guess. Okay, so he is admitting to his error.
It's a big goblin. That was interesting.
It's sufficiently large here, and it can get larger. Right, here comes one of my favorite comments here. Actually, probably my favorite. I just enjoy playing with it. All right, so not too many good options here for John. He's got Nervous Gardener, Eavesdropper, Cold Case Cracker, Topiary Panther, Stash Skeleton. So can't really put too much into play here.
Yeah, so 7 mana to kill off a creature with Godfire. Next turn. There's like a draw coming with this clue, perhaps.
So I think he's going to flip up the Nervous Gardener and then I guess cast this Case of the Stash Skeleton, even though can't block.
Nope.
All right.
It's
Hmm.
a full trade if you block though and sack. So
No, it's no.
isn't it?
The Loxodon says whenever you draw your second
Second
card.
of turn.
It's
Second
not
of turn.
whenever you
Yeah.
sack a clue,
My bad. Yeah. Yeah. You need two clues to make that happen, I suppose.
which is weird because some cards say whenever you sack a clue do this, and this one says whenever you draw your second card. Like there's a
Yeah.
few there's a few that say each, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a mix and match. I remember getting confused by that at one.
Yeah, like Private Eye says when you draw your second card. Well, it's just like they want to limit things to once a turn, right? Like they don't want
Mm-hmm.
certain things are okay with happening multiple times a turn, certain things are not. John's gonna give this one a read. What's this all about? I
Fair
think
enough. The
there's a
God.
7/7 going to the graveyard and the game ending. Yeah, he has no defense here against this. There's going to be yeah, so he's just going to get to attack for exactly 6 damage.
The other. The goblin had to attack in order to grow, so it wasn't going to be a blocker.
He says it's like Angel of Despair. Okay. Angel of Despair is I think it's from original Ravnica block. It's just like a Orzhov card, 7 mana, 5/4/4 flying, destroy a permanent when it comes in. It was a
You
seven
said,
mana flyer.
the urn,
Yeah, yeah.
but doesn't filter.
Yeah, the Angel of Despair doesn't filter, correct.
Oh, oh.
But it's flying, so it ranks higher on the index.
Yeah, there are only two killers among us.
All right, so pretty straightforward Sultai build here for John. 10 forest, 6 swamp, 6 island, and then the Mirrodin's core and the thoroughfare. So pretty much playing all the colors more or less evenly here, with a
Kind
collection of a few decent rares here. I see.
of a good idea why there's 5 colors in this deck. Out of the mom pack, we see a Kenrith, the Return King.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I
Ra-
can see.
there's a Rakdos at the top end as well. There's
Okay.
not crazy amounts of different colors. He's playing 2 Gardeners with a couple Surveil lands too to get all
Yeah.
the colors in.
Yeah, we got a decent amount of fixing here for John. Some scary rares here. Axebane Ferox, Kellen, Massacre Girl, Cryptic Coat. Like he's got the goods here. He just Jeremy got off to a good start. John wasn't really keeping up pace. He did the best he could with what he had, but Killer Among Us is not really good at blocking for the most part.
No, no, it says attack to do the thing.
Like it's a powerful offensive play, but a bit underwhelming when you're on the backside. He has hide in plain sight too, so lots of good cards here. Just
I'm looking at Herb Basket. There's 2 Fugitive Code Breakers, a couple
okay.
Shocks, a couple Galvanizes. I wonder if he's ever gonna flip that Herb Basket.
I mean, I think I don't know what it does on the backside. So those things
Sweeper
flip so rarely. I couldn't tell you what most of them do on the backside.
still gonna look hard to even with these.
Yeah, I could probably quote you what Shoulder did because I had it in Mom League from like week one, like it was in my starting pool, and I played it the whole time. So I could probably tell you what that one did. Yeah, John's got a bunch of rares. He's got the outrageous robbery, the doppelgang. He's got the lowness, which he got through one of the puzzles, which is that it's a Simic 2-drop that makes a clue whenever a non-token creature comes in on your side.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I believe it was from Modern Horizons. I'm gonna say 2. Not too many changes here. Just showing me all his rares, and now we move on to the second game.
Yeah, same. Not too many changes. Uh, there was a Bone Brute as well of note for a flipper.
So unfortunate mulligan here, but a decent keep here. He's got the Killer Among Us. Well, we'll see what he puts to the bottom. What's Jeremy looking at?
I say this looks fantastic. There's like only 2 castable spells. There's a Thundering Falls, a Forest, and a Plain. So those are 4 of the 5 colors. A Kenrith, a
Okay,
Long Goodbye, but no black. Galvanize, and a Ferox, Axeman Ferox, which needs 2 green.
okay. Well, they both have a Ferox. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we got. I think he's putting Bite Down on Crime on the bottom. He has Swamp, Forest. He has our friend the Tipster. He has a Killer Among Us and Cryptic Coat, which is uncastable until he finds blue.
not a bad card though.
So turns 3 and 4, or turn 3 is going to be a blank here, and if Jeremy bolts the bird, turn 4 is going to be a blank too, unless John draws something.
Double the price of Bolt, but yeah, Galvanize.
Well, look, we just use that to say you killed the mana dork on turn 2, right?
Forest was
Ooh, okay.
drawn though. It's great for Axeman Ferox news.
All right, we got a hide in plain sight next turn, possibly into Killer Among Us after that. And Jeremy
Hmm.
doing nothing this turn is quite good for John. He's on another blue
Axeman Ferox.
card, so not great for him.
Okay, and the Axebane is going to be annoying. If it's played on curve, it's even better than normal. It's like Hexproof if it's played right
Okay,
on curve.
so he's got 2 creatures and 3 lands. So imagine he's just going to cloak his Cold Case Cracker, which he has 4 in his deck. I saw during sideboarding. And the other one is actually a disguised creature. Is the This is actually going to be really good. The Flourishing Bloomkin, which he can now flip up for 2 rather than 5.
Ooh.
So
So Ferox,
that's gonna be pretty powerful.
collect evidence 4, but that sorcery costs 4. So.
He's got 4. I mean, he doesn't have removal yet, but I mean, if he flips up this the Bloomkin, it's gonna be looking pretty good. Unfortunately, he's got no castables because he's got all blue
Bloomkin,
cards and a 5-drop.
yeah,
Hopefully he tracks that he can actually flip up his Bloomkin for less.
yeah, it's a great cloak.
It's a little. It's not. Oh, okay,
No,
it looks like he's gonna just try and trade here.
He thinks it's 5, maybe. Too sad.
No, I think he knows. Yeah, he's not attacking.
What did you say he's doing?
He's just gonna try and block here. It's gonna be a 4/4.
Oh, oh,
The
oh,
the Bloomkin's gonna be a 4/4.
he attacked with the other one. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't
cold case cracker.
know.
So I know he does not have a blue green dual land, so he will not be able to get blue by doing this. But
The one,
I'd almost be more wanting to race, like just flip it up on my turn, attack for 7. Because if he flips up
although
on his turn, he puts a force into play and gets to search for one and gets to play it.
long goodbye is happening though. Instead of
Yeah,
Kenrith getting developed, long goodbye is happening, which is not nothing. You also get your value from the ramp.
I almost feel like I'd rather just play the Kenrith and let this happen, but
The ramp happens. I
but
mean, yeah,
but Jeremy knows
Kenneth.
his deck, and I'm sure he's okay with this. Yeah, so
Yeah,
two forests here.
It's a good one to cloak. It is.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones. That and like Bubble Smuggler, and a few of the ones that are just really cheap to play face up. We got a doppelgang here, but the problem
Oh,
persists of no blue mana with 4 blue cards in hand. Only
even with
cast.
flourishing. So flourishing didn't. I guess he has no surveil lands that are forced.
No, he has his mana base was all basics and the Mirrodin's core and the Public
Yeah,
Thoroughfare, and the rest
yeah.
was basics. 6 islands to be exact.
Oh, Darth Vader would be happy.
No, he'd be disturbed.
How irresponsible is the deck, I suppose.
Well, no, we're not here to say anyone's irresponsible. It's just like when you play 10/6/6 and like one land that can store colored mana and one land that's for any color, you get this sometimes. Like six islands is not a lot. And he's just going to
That's
give
a beat.
trample and haste here, and he's just going to try to end this game.
That's
Kenrith
a
is
beating. I wasn't even thinking.
Kenrith is just a beating. We saw this in Mom League, and I had the same conclusion that I'm having now, which is this card was never intended to be. It was not designed to be in a limited set. This was like in the Eldraine, like it was a
Box hopper.
collect a
Or box
box,
hopper, I think.
whatever they used to have, buy a box,
Yeah.
whatever they used to call it.
Box
Like
hopper.
this was a card that was designed for Commander, not for Limited. So whenever we see it, and whenever I saw it in Mom League, I was like, oh god, this again. Just does everything.
I mean, the that one mana ability is exactly what I needed. Haste and trample was perfect right there.
I mean, it's good. There's no board state where it's bad because if the game is getting drawn out, you just put counters and draw cards. If you're a bit behind, you can gain 5 life for 3 mana. It
I was just talking
just
about the red ability. It was
ah,
perfect. Yeah.
finally
It was
finally
pretty.
chose Merfolk. Maybe he chose Merfolk the first time, but he's putting up quite a defense here. Unfortunately, they're all very small.
Yeah, and the one mana ability gives trample. So
But yeah, this mana issue is just if he got his island on time, he could. I'm pretty sure he could have kept up here. He had pretty high quality cards in hand. I
oh,
mean,
Urn of OP Godfire, John.
okay, don't know if it's needed, but
Threat of activation is pretty.
yeah, it's one on a green to put a counter. You could just do that as many times as you need and give trample. Not sure how John makes it through. I mean, sure there's a way to make it through this turn, but it's not looking good going forward here.
It's a great defense if there's no trample on the other side.
Yeah, John's going to do some math here, try and figure out how to best mitigate against all the possible things this card could do.
There's 7. You can get trample and 3 counters.
Yeah, I'm sure John's doing the math. I'm sure about counters and haste, counters and trample. But we have 9 power, potentially 12 versus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defense. But the death touch trample makes it okay. So he's quad blocking
What does death
the
touch do?
Ferox. So it'll still. I think he's. think he's dead, right? One
It's
counter on the Ferox, two
an
counters
easy
on
red.
the king.
It's an easy red. Yeah. Okay. Now it's trampling for 3 with 1 creature
I think one
already.
counter on Ferox, two counters on king.
Because the death type, right? You only have to assign 1.
No, it'll still be it'll still survive at one.
Just to get in for 4 with this. Yeah, I mean, 3 counters on the Ferox is still the play, though.
That'll be I think it's six, no matter how you slice it.
His other way to use mana is just locks it on eavesdrop or earn a godfather.
John is sad. Just killing over. Like I said, I think he gets him to one, unless Jeremy has designed a play pattern that we didn't see, or that I'm too tired to figure out.
When I think it tramples over for 3 because of the death touch damage
Yeah,
assign.
yeah. So he'll ping each of the creatures for one. Okay, so he's left him at two, with
Yep.
the Urn of Godfire coming down. Fear the
Sweet.
Urn. And a
Sweet.
swamp is of absolutely no help. So looks like Germany's going to get another feature match victory. He had a very impressive one in week one, and he follows it up with a very impressive showing here in week three,
Kenrith shows up.
finishing the week on a high note here. But he's going to go out with as much damage on his opponent as possible.
Lava.
This It was the man in the middle this time, the Merfolk. All right, so very strong showing. Tenrith again, just a very very powerful card, Swiss Army knife really. And Jeremy takes it down, so congratulations to him. And see everybody next week.